Morning all. A couple of you have pointed out a critical note regarding the Levant Aronian game against Radjabov, which I assumed was clear cut here, and I had indicated actually in my notes before doing the video that a number of these pawn moves by Radjabov were kind of blunders. The first one at move 29, because this was given as an inferior move by an engine, a4, okay, so rook b7, and then a3 given as a blunder, and then bishop d2, a2. Now, okay, I know engines are great, but Radjabov did have a particular idea here, perhaps, that in this position we get this final position of the game, and two of you, so Kirill's, and also Comet 2029, have pointed out that this final position here, there's an interesting thing going on, which may have been Radjabov's idea, that the queen, in theory, is supporting the h7 pawn here. So this pawn's on the verge of queening. So it's actually a very dramatic position. And I just assumed like this was the end of the game because you know, of a mate here. And I thought this was still a mating thing with queen e4, and I didn't mention it here in this position, that the pawn on g5 versus g6 gives black the option of this kind of maneuver potentially. And so basically queen takes e4 check needs to be illustrated. Okay, so rook takes e4 and black queens. Now in this position it starts off with rook e6 check, king h5, and here you might think well, just taking on h7. That's not really the case. If you take on h7 here, let's just take on h7 and let's take an engine on here. If we take on h7, actually black is escaping king g4. Black's got the f5 square, and that bishop's just been removed, controlling that f5 square. And there's actually no mate here. It's actually black's actually might, believe it or not, miraculously not be being mated in this position. You know, check. What can we do? We can't mate the black king. So the key to it, as pointed out by a couple of you guys, and thanks very much, is in this position there's a mate in free with the move g4 check, and basically this forces the king onto the h file with g4 being protected, because after with rook h6 check, because this rook needs to hold the f file, king takes, and now f3 mate here. And if on king takes g4 check, and again we use this h file now, and everything's covered, all the escape routes. So I think earlier with the pawn on g6, let's just rewind with the pawn. When it was on g6, there was a clear mating threat. So this was protected. This h7 square was protected with g5. And okay, so bishop e4. Yeah, I think this is where. So rook h7 is a mate threat, and that's a key line to play queen takes e4. It might have been Radjabov's idea. He's saving himself. Maybe he thought with this move, and it would have been a brilliant save. Okay, so it does require some precision here. The mate with check. Now if so king h5 is a mate in free, but there's also bishop f6. This is still better for white. It's actually a mate in 25, so I think black's getting mowed down. Rook e takes f6, and black has to give up the queen. It's just a rook down. If king h5, we can take, and we're holding that f file, so here its mate. So I thought a quick video note about this position, so thanks very much for highlighting that. I thought I should illustrate both of your comments, so thank you Carols and comment 2029 that this final position had this resource, and that kind of highlights how clever Aronian is sometimes tactically, even though he had some tactical slips during the tournament. If he had seen this, which I assume he had seen this because this pawn, otherwise the whole plan could actually be working with this queen sack. So I think it is a very important note to accompany that main video. So comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.